Hey, bro, it's time for another episode. It's the D Train on the ones and the twos. Daniel Ehrenberg over there in New Jersey is my co-host.
What's up, my friend and other friends and fellow travelers? It is Henry Papali over here in Jersey South on the Garden State Parkway, not far from AC. Welcome to episode 121.
All right.
In the words of Dennis Hopper, to paraphrase from the first Speed movie, well, this sequel turned out to be very disappointing, if I do say so myself.
Henry, are you seeing... Okay, listen, we're covering Speed and Speed 2, Cruise Control. Are you seeing this movie for the first time?
All the way through, absolutely.
Okay.
There was stuff in here I had never seen. I had clearly just seen very few scenes from it. I didn't recognize a great deal of stuff in this. I've never. So for all intents and purposes, I've never seen it.
I'm excited to talk about the Speeds with you. One of our most requested episodes, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's got to be like this and like Batman.
It's true. It's true. When we first started and compiled our Gigantor list, Gigantor, this was Speed reference. This was
Is that
on
a Speed
there.
reference?
Yeah.
Oh, one of the dudes
Keanu
on
Reeves calls him.
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Hey,
Right.
Gigantor.
Right.
Yeah, this was on our list, like I think pretty high up. Not necessarily in what we were going to cover, but just came to our minds. So that it tells you something. It's funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's the classic example, right? The big hit, the one everyone likes, and then the sequel that nobody likes.
Right, I guess
and
so.
Tanks.
Yeah.
Tanks. You know, it sort of dropped like an anchor at the box office.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. A tank would have been fine,
preference.
too. Yeah.
It came out in 1997. What a year for ship movies.
Yeah, that had occurred to me.
Yeah.
And we're covering the better of the two.
Oh, I don't believe that's true. I think it's the worst of the three.
I've never seen the Titanic. Oh, what's the third one?
Well, I think it was Jan 98, but I'm thinking Deep Rising.
I think you're right. But I'd go throw it in 97. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Henry, let's talk about Speed, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. It's Speed. Get on that shit, baby.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Directed by Jan de Bont. All right. And Jan de Bont, of course, we've covered in the past. He was a noted cinematographer.
True.
All right.
A good one.
Yeah, he was the DP over there on Die Hard. So we talked about him in our very first episode, and he was recommended for this movie. It's his first feature film as a director. The script was offered to John McTiernan. You know.
Oh.
And McTiernan read the script, liked it, but thought it was too much like Die Hard for him to do.
I can understand that.
Sure. And so he recommended to the producers his old buddy, Jan de Bont.
That's very cool. It's like a guy not saying this script sucks. It's just saying I might not be the guy because I sort of just did this, but I do know somebody good who I think would be a fit for it.
Sure, McTiernan, he's a great guy, right?
And it worked. Like, it's not somebody who's just like, oh yeah, my brother can direct.
That's right. McTiernan, one of our best ex-convicts.
Oh, that's right. But that was something. What was that, like tax fraud or something?
So. Yeah.
Good for him.
Sure. He hasn't been Me Too'd yet. Listen, tax fraud is
guy.
very quaint in Hollywood terms these days.
Tax fraud is like, that's a plus, man.
Sure, man.
Fine. Yeah.
All he did was rape the IRS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a hero.
Yeah. Hey, so Jan, he directed this, of course, followed it up with Twister, another huge hit. Then Speed 2, Cruise Control, which we'll get to, kind of hurt his career, you could say.
Right.
And he seemed to have complete control over that Speed 2.
Yeah, from what a little bit I was reading, it did seem that he did, but I mean, we'll get to it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll
right?
get to it. Okay, so he followed that up with The Haunting.
I saw that.
Yeah, me too. The Weekend of Woodstock '99. We've talked about it.
Right, all right.
And then he followed The Haunting, of course, very successfully spoofed in Scary Movie 2.
There you go.
Yeah. And then Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, right? That was his last movie as a director.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't remember we've done him as a director
That's
then.
right. We've
Okay.
done him.
Yeah. Was he that sucked, as I recall, right?
Cradle of Life? I mean,
Yeah.
both those movies sucked, but
Right,
I remember
right.
I liked Cradle of Life more than the first one.
And I don't
I think
we
you
flipped
disagree.
on that.
Yeah.
We flipped on that, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
hey,
the best-
gang, you need a sweet recommendation
That's
for
right.
these winter days coming up. Alicia Vikander.
Go see Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
directed by Roar Oosthaug, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Wow.
How about
Well,
that?
Well done. I couldn't have done that for all the
How about that deep pull?
That was really good.
Okay, so Speed has a writing credit there by Graham Yost, who wrote the first draft of the screenplay. He's a writer I'm very interested in, a bit of a fan, you might say,
Okay.
but more of his TV work. So he got his start writing for Hey Dude.
What the fuck is that?
Now that was a rancher sitcom on the Nickelodeon network in the early 90s.
Okay.
All right, and the screenplay, I mean the theme song, Henry, went a little something like this: "A little wild and a little strange when you make your home out on the range, singing yippee ki yay, yippee ki yay, what like the cowboys say? Sing it again now." All right, that's not
Wow.
the whole thing, but I do remember many of the lyrics to the Hey Dude.
That was all. That wasn't in front of you.
No.
That was lyrics out the head.
That was off the dome.
Wow, man.
All right. No one famous was on that show except Christine Taylor,
Oh,
as like a teen. All right.
wait. What's she from?
You know, Ben. She's from fucking Ben Stiller. But I mean, she's an
Oh,
actress too.
the Brady-
She's Marsha Brady and
Right,
you know
right.
Zoolander and whatever.
Got it.
She's all right. So
Well, yeah, a little bland.
a little bland, but she can get in there and do the job.
Right.
Sure. So, Speed was a spec he wrote as a screenplay. He wanted to break into movies. And he wrote the original script, and of course, it was rewritten a lot by Mr. Joss Whedon.
That was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
When I read that, obviously, I thought immediately of you and how you had never mentioned that to me. So that was a pleasant little surprise.
I think I mentioned it.
You might have, but I don't remember, dude. And I didn't know that until after the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that was even weirder. I'm
So-
glad I didn't know it during the movie. It would have taken up too much of my mind. You know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I found that out years ago, but like
Right.
I don't know if I've seen Speed since that. So a lot of
Sure.
my brain was occupied thinking
Right.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you catch those. So supposedly, according to Graham Yost, he wrote, quote, 98.9% of the dialogue, Joss Whedon. So you do get those, like, Joss Whedon rhythms.
Yeah.
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 And he also came up with the idea to kill Jeff Daniels, and I think he came up with the like villain's motive. Like
It seems
Joss
like he
Whedon
came
wrote,
up with a lot.
Joss Whedon wrote a ton of this movie. There, like, and I don't know what the deal was with like the Writers Guild at the time, only giving Graham Yost credit because like I think there were even like the original posters for Speed like had Joss Whedon's name on it.
Really?
And then by the time it made it to theaters, it was just sole credit to Graham.
Well, because
Yost.
I think you're right about the Writers Guild. Because also from the other stuff I read, and which I'm sure also you know, is that so Yost said that he wrote 90.
Oh yeah. Yost was totally up front.
But Whedon seemed to have come up with like the major plot points.
It seems to me Graham Yost came up with guy on a bus.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's being entirely honest that he wrote 98% of the
No.
movie.
He said Joss Whedon wrote 98%.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard you.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I thought I read, and then
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
it, but I wasn't gonna. Okay, I get it. Right. Okay. So Graham Yost
So Graham
wrote exactly
Yost,
1.6%.
Well, Graham Yost has had a good career. He bombed around in TV he
Right.
bombed around in movies for the 90s. He wrote Broken Arrow and Hard Rain and
Ooh.
Mission to Mars for Brian De Palma
Oh.
and The Last Castle.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of bad
my.
movies. But then he started working in TV. He got hired for From the Earth to the Moon.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then after that, they gave him work on Band of Brothers, and then he worked on The Pacific as well.
Okay, so this guy belongs in television.
He belongs in television, created a show called Boomtown in the early 2000s, which
I
was a
remember
really ahead of its time kind of show.
Mhm.
And then, of course, created Justified.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a guy who really took a while to figure out where his true genre was, but that was it.
But now he's the best. He used his
Right,
clout
right.
on Justified to get a couple of his friends on the FX network.
Uh-huh.
A script he liked from a couple of his friends, and that was The Americans.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so he has an executive producer credit on The Americans, even though he never wrote for the show.
So he turned out just fine.
He's great.
Doing
Now
good stuff.
he's the head writer over there on that show Sneaky Pete that Bryan Cranston created.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I hear good things. Giovanni Ribisi and shit.
All right, Scientology.
Yeah. All right. What else we got? What were we talking about there?
Well, the stats, I guess.
Oh, okay. So the script was originally called Minimum Speed. And then he was like, it doesn't look good to have minimum in the title because that denotes slowness.
Yeah.
So they changed it to speed. That was advice that Jan de Bont later would not listen to when he called his sequel to Speed Cruise Control.
Yeah, it didn't it didn't really occur to me how bad that title was until I was watching the movie. Like when I first put it on, and I've always obviously had the title in my head, I was kind of like, okay, I know it takes place on a cruise, so cruise control, all right. And then when you're watching it, you're kind of like
Bored.
right, and so you're thinking about a lot of other things, and then you're like, cruise control. It's like a feature on a car. It's a really B title. Like it's really uninventive, and I mean, God, I mean, just call it Speed 2, I guess, or just not even. Whatever. We'll get there.
How about not making a Speed 2?
Exactly.
Or how about if you're gonna make a Speed 2, don't have it on a cruise ship.
Well, of course.
All right. We'll get there.
Right. Yeah.
So, the lead role in Speed, Jack Traven, great name.
Awesome.
Yeah, was offered to Stephen Baldwin,
I've read that.
who turned it down ostensibly because he felt it was too similar to Die Hard. Now,
He is
so
such a
what?
prick.
If
He is
you're
such a
Stephen
prick.
Baldwin in 1994 and you're being offered your own version of Die Hard, maybe do it.
Dude, he is such a prick. I mean, you've seen him in like interviews, have you? I mean,
He's super Christian. I've also, of course, seen him where he made it very deep on our president's show, The Celebrity Apprentice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I think I saw that too.
it's possible.
Yeah. He's just such an asshole.
Yeah, I think you did. I think he got in a fight with Lou Ferrigno that season we watched.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Or maybe Meatloaf. I can picture Stephen Baldwin and
I don't
Meatloaf yelling at each other.
I don't remember seeing Meatloaf. I do remember seeing Stephen Ball, but my thing about him goes back to when I remember when I first owned the DVD of Usual Suspects, and he's being
that
like
standard def digital video disc. Love it.
That's right. And like I watched it's got some really good features. We don't have to talk about what else was going on the set probably. But Stephen Baldwin just like comes across as such an asshole, and
Hey, he's less of an asshole than a lot of people in that movie.
you got that right.
Hey, listen, Stephen Baldwin is quaint compared to what's going on.
Well, you know what sticks out in the DVD for me was the specific dichotomy between the Gabriel Byrne stuff and him, and like how cool and classy Gabriel Byrne is, and just Stephen Baldwin, just like, I mean, I come to a movie and I bring my own thing, man. I mean, I'm not going to listen to anybody. I don't want to be told what to do, and a character's going to become mine, and just does on this whole thing. It's like, dude, you're nobody.
Is Gabriel Byrne having a little bit of a career renaissance right now?
He might be. He's in Maniac, which I started watching.
I haven't started yet, but I'm going to. And he was in Hereditary.
Yeah.
We might be experiencing a Byrne-assance.
That'd be great. I've always loved Gabriel Byrne, and I one of the few. I don't think you even made it through, right? I watched every episode of In Treatment.
Yeah, that was an endurance trial.
It was great.
I know you love that show. But, Stephen Baldwin, can I just point out, he's turning down Speed. The year after this, he made Biodome. You're second fiddle to Pauly Shore, and you're turning down Speed?
Well, you're one of your favorite movies, so you can't be too upset about that.
Yeah,
right?
But still, I mean, I love Biodome. Of course I love Biodome. Right. All right?
And he had to accept the Flintstones, or was that before this?
I believe that was this year. Maybe he turned down Speed for the Flintstones.
Good call.
For Barney fucking Rubble. All right.
Good call.
Annie, the Sandra Bullock role, was originally written for Halle Berry, who turned it down.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
I don't know.
It's 1994. Halle Berry's not really a thing yet.
No, and we're like 6 years, or at the time when they're probably casting, 5 years removed from Die Hard. I mean, I don't know what everybody's so worried about.
I know.
It's weird.
It's really weird. And so then they rewrote because in Graham Yost's original, there was no love between them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No romance. And so then they rewrote the Halle Berry role for Ellen DeGeneres. They were like, maybe she'll be like comic relief.
I read that.
Yeah. Which might have worked, to be honest. But
oh, cut, please.
I mean, it wouldn't have worked in the same way, but I can see Ellen DeGeneres
horrible.
delivering Joss Whedon dialogue.
Yep. Oh, well, I don't know. That would have been a pretty insufferable.
She'd have been like, "Buh, buh, buh." She's always like a little worried. Wait, you want me to jump the bus? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Ellen, and then they got Sandy B in here.
Yeah.
And I love it. This is like maybe the only role in Sandra Bullock's career where she's not a movie star yet, and so she's like not trying too hard.
She's great.
Okay. You thought she was great in Speed 2?
We'll get there.
All right.
I mean, there's not much else to hang on to in the first hour of Speed 2, so I'll say that.
So Speed had a budget.
She's great in this.
Yeah, she is. She is. I agree with that.
And that's not my crush talking. That's just
no. She's genuinely great in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very charming. Budget of $30 million.
Yeah.
Keep those budgets down. That's what you got to do.
I got to say that's impressive, man.
Oh my God, it looks incredible.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I think it helps that he has, his cinematographers,
Andres Bartkowiak.
And the director himself is a cinematographer, so he knows how to make a movie look good. So he doesn't need a lot to go on, but I'm still impressed anyway.
Yeah,
just because of all the stunts. This is like pretty much pre-CGI. I know
they extraordinarily confident first film.
Yes, that's a good word for it. It really is. Yeah.
And then, like Sandra Bullock, maybe by Speed 2, we're overconfident. All right. Box office of $350.4 million.
Jesus.
All right. Came in at number 8 at the box office.
Wow.
I wrote down the top 10, Henry, because we haven't done 94 all that much.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have, it hasn't really been top 10 movies. You want to take a guess on some of these top 10ers?
I'll take some stabs, but I'm not going to be very good. All right, top 10 and 94 box office. Let me throw out Forrest Gump.
That's number 1 with a feather.
A chocolate.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction had to be in there.
It's number 10, snuck in.
Ooh. And I can't even say Shawshank because I know that didn't make
No.
any money. I'm out.
You're out. That's crazy. Come on. Who was the king of the box office in '94, using 3 hits that year? Comedian
Martin Lawrence.
Jim Carrey. So
Okay. So what? The Mask.
The Mask is over here at number 9.
Ace Ventura.
Not quite.
Okay, 3 hits, 94. Jim Carrey. Oh boy, I don't know. What would be the third one he was in?
Dumb and Dumber. That was the biggest. Number 6.
Oh, I always thought that was 93.
No.
Okay, wow.
No, his first movie was Ace Ventura.
Right. Okay.
I mean, except for like Earth Girls Are Easy. And
Right. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So 10 is Pulp Fiction, 9 is The Mask, and 8 is Speed. We know that. Number 7, starring a character who's recently been rebooted for television.
Go ahead.
Clear and Present Danger.
Oh.
6 is Dumb and Dumber. Number 5, a movie featuring Stephen Baldwin.
Biodome.
The Flintstones. Come on. Number 4.
I don't think they'd made a Scooby-Doo yet.
No.
Is that a Tim Allen reference? Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. The Santa Claus?
That's right, the Santa Claus.
Get out of here. That was just me. Okay. Wow.
Number 4. Number 3. Hey, he's the director who knows what the people want, Henry.
Immediately I thought about James Cameron, but that's a direct quote probably, right?
No, James Cameron. You're on the right track here.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Is it True Lies?
True Lies over here at number 3.
All right.
God, Schwarzenegger was still big enough in '94 to have the number 3 box office movie.
Well, it's an interesting list because it's so pre-superhero that
Yeah.
you're not getting any. It's kind of nice.
There's
to
no
have
superhero movies except
clear
The
and
Mask,
clever-
I guess.
Yeah, clear and present danger. Like that's not a great movie, but it's just kind of nice to have it on there.
But Patriot
I'm
Games
impressed.
was a huge hit, so
Yeah.
people went to see the follow-up.
I like that a lot. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Number 2 was the big animated movie this year, the big Disney. Can you remember what that was in '94?
94. Oh, that's not Aladdin. That was already done.
Yeah.
94.
A remake is coming out next year.
Oh man. I don't know.
Donald Glover. It's The Lion King.
Oh, really? That was 94. Okay.
Yeah.
Pat never saw it.
All right, Speed, a very successful movie with critics, Henry. Was nominated for 3 Oscars.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
3 Oscars. Keep
3
talking. Didn't
Oscars.
know that was coming right away. All right. 3 Oscars.
It
What
won
were they?
2 of the Oscars.
And they were,
Best Sound Editing and Best Sound Mixing.
which is not an award I'm going to get today, but wow.
Yeah,
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. It deserved that.
I agree. So
I mean, I don't know what it was up against, but I don't.
it lost the Best Editing Award, though. What was that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What was that?
Go ahead. You can read it.
Oh. All right, and the nominees for Best Editing are Speed, Pulp Fiction, and Hoop Dreams. And here's your winner, Forrest Gump.
I think it really does work better with you reading it over it.
I like it,
that.
yeah.
I like that touch. Yeah.
Can you
Forrest
believe
Gump.
Forrest Gump? I mean, this is editing. Pulp Fiction and Hoop Dreams have to be like 2 of the best edited movies ever.
Especially Hoop Dreams. I mean,
Yeah,
my
they
God,
worked
the
with 10
footage
years
they
of
had to
footage.
go. My God. Yeah. Oh well.
But Pulp Fiction also a high learning curve with all that non-linear narrative.
Yeah. I always remember when Forrest Gump won because I remember Quentin Tarantino winning, I believe, the MTV Movie Award for Pulp Fiction, And I always remember he got up and accepted, and he said something to the effect of, "It's nice to be awarded for this movie because the Academy thought it was more fitting to award Forrest Gump."
Who said this?
Tarantino.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching the MTV Movie Awards. I was still a teenager. And I remember him getting that and like totally just like shitting on
That's
Forrest.
awesome.
Yeah, it was. And he did it, way back when. So that was pretty cool.
I love it. I do want to talk about the MTV Movie Awards.
Uh-oh.
Because Speed was nominated for a lot of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, Sandra Bullock won Best Female Performance.
Cool.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves won Best On-Screen Duo.
All right.
They also won Best Kiss.
Oh.
All right? Sandra
All right.
Bullock won Most Desirable Female. By the way, a category that I'm sure does not exist today. All right?
But that is true, though.
She's very desirable in this film.
Very desirable.
Yeah.
But
It's a good floral print dress.
that category is not it's not around.
Dennis Hopper won Best Villain.
I love it.
All right.
I love it. This was really, I mean, he had obviously many crazy periods, but this was the height of Dennis Hopper's like 10-year long crazy period, because he's Blue Velvet, and then he does Crazy Man in the same year. Really, he does Speed, and he does Red Rock West
and River's Edge.
Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm. And then I thought of another one too that came after this. Can't think of it now, but yeah, he was the height of his crazy man.
Yeah, he was a nut job, and that's what I knew him as, because I
Sure.
got into movies in the '90s. I thought Dennis Hopper and Gary Oldman were just these like two weirdos that played villains and shit.
Yeah, right. Well, that makes, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if I hadn't I saw Easy Rider very young, so Dennis Hopper was always Easy Rider to me, but after I saw Blue Velvet later and then Red Rock West, I was like, okay, so that's his main thing.
Yeah.
This is what he does.
Red Rock West was 94, right?
It better be.
What a year for Dennis Hopper. Okay. This movie also won the MTV Movie Award for Best Action Sequence. I don't know which one, though.
Right. No, that's fair, though. Yeah.
Okay, and here it lost a few. It won more than it lost.
Sure.
It was nominated for Best Movie. It lost to Pulp Fiction, which you remember.
Right.
Listen to this. Keanu Reeves nominated for Best Male Performance. And he lost to Brad Pitt for Interview with the Vampire.
Fine. Fine.
He also lost
Brad Pitt, the better of the vampires.
Yeah, probably. He also lost the Most Desirable Male category to Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
All right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Henry, this movie is on an AFI list. Listen to this. All right, just shut up, Tim, with an AFI theme.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was good.
Congratulations to Shut Up, Tim. That was fantastic.
That was a very good one. I had pulled mine up, but...
no, I want to hear yours, too.
Oh, okay. It's a double shot?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, according to the American Film Institute, Speed is the number 99 most thrilling movie ever made.
Broke the 100.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do your 1994 list, Hank?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I redid mine, but it's not that different from last time we did it.
I had redone it the last time we'd covered 94, whenever that was.
Okay,
Yeah.
so honorable mentions for me are The Crow, Natural Born Killers, Airheads, Go Fish, and Totally Fucked Up.
Interesting. I don't have any honorable mentions. I probably discarded them when I did this.
Okay.
I do for 97, but
Okay.
not for this.
What's
year.
your number 10?
Shallow Grave.
Interesting. My number 10, that's 1995 in America, so not on my list.
I know. I just, hey, I give up at this point. It's
My-
in the ballpark.
Yeah.
we've both messed it up so many times. Yeah.
My number 10 is Red Rock West.
Oh, I'm happy to see that.
That's right.
All
A Henry recommend.
Yeah. My number 9 is Immortal Beloved.
Yep. Mozart. I'm joking. Beethoven, right? I wasn't joking. I forgot.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was
yeah.
a good joke.
No,
Okay.
Beethoven. Good movie.
Accidental good joke. Yeah.
Henry,
Yeah.
my number 9 movie of
Mhm.
1994 is Speed.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. I'm just putting that out there. Spoilers to how I felt about this rewatch.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have one that finally making its. No, not yet. It's not. Sorry. Number 8 is Heavenly Creatures.
My number 8 is Crooklyn.
Oh yeah. My number 7 is Speed.
My number 7 is Clerks.
My number 6 is Death and the Maiden.
My number 6 is Spanking the Monkey.
Okay, and now it is time for. Are we doing full version here?
Yeah.
Oh, why not? All right.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitter.
Number 5. I'm taking out this movie right on the
God.
spot. I'm taking it out.
Why are you taking this one out? You should take out the one that didn't come out this year.
Yeah, all right, fine. But it's too low, so it'll be fine. Then back to my number 10. You're right. Number 10 would be Hoop Dreams
Okay.
because I always forget that. So Shallow Grave's taking a nap.
Okay.
So now for the heavy hitters, which aren't changing. Clerks.
All right. My number 5 is Leon, the Professional.
Yeah. Number 4 is Crumb.
I forgot that again.
I know, right? Yeah. And I always forget.
I
Hoop
bet you that
Dreams.
came out in America in 95.
I don't know. I saw it in theaters, but I don't remember what year I
All
saw
right.
it. But yeah.
My number 4 is Ed Wood.
Yeah, that used to be on my list, but no longer. My number 3 is Red Rock West.
My number 3 is Heavenly Creatures. We kind of have those swapped a little bit.
Yeah, we have pretty similar lists too. Number 2, as always, won't be on yours. Shawshank Redemption.
And my number 2 is Hoop Dreams.
Right. And the number 1 movie in 1994 is
Pulp
Pulp
Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction.
I'm gonna mark that Shallow Grave right now. And put Hoop Dreams, and then I'm gonna do a little rearranging because Hoop Dreams is much higher than number 10. All right, that was off-air conversation. Okay,
so
Speed.
we start. Opening credits. We're panning down an elevator shaft. I'll tell you what, that camera's moving fast.
It really is.
No.
It really is.
And
A little vertigo.
yeah, a little bit. And I'll tell you what, right away, that score. I forgot this thing. It's a good score.
It is a good score by like a nobody.
Who is it?
I think it's this guy Mark Mancina.
He did the second one. Did he also do the first?
I believe so. I'm gonna look him up right now.
I love
but
it.
It is a good score. I mean, it's got like one idea, but it's enough.
That
Yeah.
one idea carried me through, baby. All right, it is
I
Mark
agree.
Mancina.
I agree.
He's
Yeah.
he's not exactly a nobody. He did Moana a couple years ago. That was a big movie. And let's see, he's Criminal Minds.
Oh,
the
and he
TV
did Con
show.
Air. That was a fun score.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's done Training Day.
Okay, I stand totally corrected.
All right.
Yeah.
He's somebody.
He is somebody.
Yeah.
He's just somebody.
He's
Yeah.
a somebody. He did Bad Boys, the first Bad Boys.
Instant disqualification. He did Tarzan with Phil Collins.
I don't believe he worked on it with Phil Collins. Phil Collins did the song. We don't know if he had anything to do with the score.
Oh, I don't know.
You'll be in my heart.
Please don't. Put PTSD for that, please.
Yeah, it won that Oscar. Do you remember the songs it beat?
No, Jesus Christ!
I'll never forget it.
Really?
Yeah, it was the year. It was the nominees were Trey Parker and Matt Stone for a song from the South Park movie, and Amy Mann for "Save Me" from Magnolia.
Get out of here!
Yeah, they gave it to "You'll Be in My Heart."
God.
Yeah, from Tarzan.
Poor Amy, man. She shouldn't even have shown up. I'm sure she performed. I'm sure I
She
watched
did.
it.
She performed. She was great.
Yep.
Mhm. I mean, it's the same thing as Elliott Smith getting beat by. I mean, it's not the same thing though, because "My Heart Will Go On" was at least like a huge fucking hit.
Oh yeah, he beat what Elliott Smith for a Good Will Hunting
Yeah.
song. That's too bad too.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's
I wish
a
Celine
gener-
Dion stabbed herself in the chest.
Yeah. I was just gonna.
All right, so there's an elevator in a building. It's been stopped, and there's bombs on it.
Yeah, and let me tell you something right away, which makes this movie really, really good. This whole sequence, I didn't think this time, but I remember like a long time ago on a rewatch, I remember having completely forgot that there was an opening thrilling sequence with an elevator, and I was like, oh man, that's the way to fucking do it.
And
Like,
I'll
that's
tell you what.
What already separates it from other action movies of its ilk.
You know
Like,
what? It's one of the only cases of good studio interference.
Oh, really?
Listen to this. Graham Yost's original script, the whole thing was bus. And Fox, 20th Century Fox, insisted come up with two. They were worried. Like, are people going to be into the bus? Come up with two non-bus action sequences. And so he had to come up with this elevator and the subway at the end.
So that was Yost?
I think Yost came up with them.
Right, Whedon wrote them.
Yeah.
Well, good call.
Yeah.
Because it sets up everything. It sets up characters. The action itself is superb.
I'll tell you who's underrated in this movie.
Joe Morton.
Well, that's true, but I was gonna say, fucking Jeff Daniels.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, he's so
please.
good in this.
Oh, he's fantastic. I
so
agree
he's
with
on
you.
the bomb squad. I
Yeah,
guess.
they're on the bomb, and it also sets up one of my favorite points of the movie in that Keanu Reeves is also a member of the bomb squad, but knows nothing about bombs.
Yeah,
So that's interesting.
I mean,
I like that.
they must just have like SWAT guys on the bomb squad. It's not his job to be involved with the
It
bomb.
sure is his job, and that's poorly done. He is exclusively a bomb squad guy, and he doesn't know a fucking thing. Because, like, I get it if, like, you know, Harry, Jeff Daniels, is like the nerd, the bomb nerd, who's like the guy everyone sort of
He
goes
is
to.
though.
Right. But Keanu Reeves, Jack Traven, he doesn't know shit.
Yeah, but he's
great.
a loose cannon.
Right, of course. No, I know.
Yeah.
It's not really a criticism. It was just something I never noticed before. I always kind of thought, he's
did
just
have
regular
that thought.
LAPD cop, and but it's like, no, he's not. He's
It seems like he should know how to dismantle a bomb.
a bomb, something, you know. Yeah, but
Yeah, Jack Traven, Jeff Daniels, Joe Morton is the head of the bomb squad. By the way, the bomb squad, a great alliance in Big Brother 16. All right.
thanks.
Yeah. Cody,
Yeah.
Derek, all those guys.
Right, yeah.
All right. So, they rush into this building. Joe Morton's on the horn. You know, he's out for the day. He's taking a day off of raising Cyborg, and
Dr.
Superhero
Silas Stone.
Gal. Is that his name?
I know that for obvious reasons.
Right. So they get into this elevator. They pry it open, and there's a great moment. So they get everyone off, right? That moment, of course, pretty iconic where the lady's scared.
Oh my God. And it works because you just want to punch her. Oh Lord.
I don't want to punch her.
Get off the elevator.
I get why she's scared. She doesn't want to get cut in half, yo.
I know, man, but if the pregnant lady can get off and all these other,
And there's that one guy who's sort of like, I'm a Wall Street bitch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Who displayed an amount of courage, but then bailed when he was.
No,
like,
I love that. He was going to help the scared lady, and then when
Yeah.
she was too scared, he was like, all right, listen, I'm out of here. I did my part.
That was very realistic.
Yeah,
in a way.
totally.
It was kind of like
That would have been me 100%.
You like to.
I
think-
would have helped to a point.
You feel like you right, exactly. You feel like you want to be the guy that would be like, I'm not leaving until I get her off first. But we probably wouldn't be. We'd probably,
I don't know this lady from Adam. I got to
Right.
get off this elevator.
Or you knock her out and you just carry her limp body and you go, all right, take her. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be so violent, but it's just. But it was well done. There'd be somebody, if not more than one person, who would not want to be sliced in half by an elevator.
That's
so it
right.
made sense.
But they get everybody off.
Yeah,
But ultimately, it comes down to Dennis Hopper, your villain.
Pop quiz,
That was a Joss Whedon line.
of course.
Yeah. Pop quiz hotshot. He's got Jeff Daniels in the elevator. Keanu's on top of the elevator.
Yeah,
And he presses up so as to crush Keanu.
yeah.
All right. And that's a good sequence. Like, I didn't remember what happened in that sequence, and I was like, what's he going to do?
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And I've seen this movie a lot.
Yeah.
There was still a lot I didn't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I was riveted, man.
Yeah.
Like, I started a new job this week, Hank, and I watched this on my second day of work.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm waking up at 4:45 in the morning right now.
Ooh.
All right? And so I get home, I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah, man.
And so I was expecting to, like, watch some of it and then nap and then watch the rest.
right.
But I'm sitting there fucking pumped.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Yeah.
So he drops down into the elevator. They have a standoff, and he seemingly blows himself up.
Right.
Or does he?
Right. That was a good sequence though, because they had discussed what do you do, in a joking way with a hostage, and Keanu says, "Shoot the hostage" or something, right?
I
And
know
then,
they set this up as foreshadowing in a sequence
it
that
happens
really only
immediately.
lasts like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it happens immediately. But it's cool. It's well done. It's funny too, though. It's like one of those sequences when he shoots Jeff Daniels in the leg. It's a weird scene to if you wanted to, if you ever want to deconstruct it. Like, I'd be curious if there's any validity to that in terms of like the way Dennis Hopper reacts. Like, because there's part of me that was watching it. I was thinking like, yeah, all right. So he shoots him in the leg. So Dennis Hopper just keeps
But
holding
you'd
him and
think
takes him with him.
maybe
But
Dennis Hopper hears that gunshot or sees the finger pull the trigger and
Right.
just presses the bomb.
right, and I think it's clearly the idea is resting on the fact that it's all an element of surprise that Dennis Hopper would just be like, "What the fuck just happened? I'm jarred. I'm scared. This is weird that he shot his friend."
Don't give a shit.
Right. You don't give a shit, or he doesn't. Give a
I
shit.
don't.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I know
There's
you are. I
something
know what
went
you're
through my
saying.
head.
But I
Yeah.
gotta say, this movie just works. All
I
right.
agree.
I'm
Yeah, agreed.
gonna spoil something for you right now.
Yeah.
I was watching Speed,
Mm.
thinking I'll probably give this baby a 4.
Right.
Then I was thinking about it, and I was thinking how long it's been since I've seen it, and so I'm trying to watch it with fresh eyes, and I was thinking about how excited I was
Right.
watching Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mm.
All right? And I gave that movie a 5.
You did. Right.
And I'm like, God, that movie is one of the best action movies of the last decade. And I'm thinking, what other action movies were out in the 90s?
Right.
I'm going through my mental Rolodex of
Right,
just
right.
straight up action movies.
Sure.
And I'm thinking of some of the great ones. I think Speed might be the best action movie of the 90s.
Wow. Yeah.
Can you come up with one to top it?
I mean, I'd have to think about it. I mean, it's definitely in the top 5 for sure. You're talking from like 90 to 2000.
Yes, 90 to 99.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it, but I mean, you might laugh, but I do think Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna laugh. I love that movie, and I thought of that movie, and Speed's better.
Yeah, I think. Well, we'll get there. I had an interesting thing that's I think almost the flip of you. I went into the movie thinking, all right, it's going to be a 5-er. No brainer for me, because I went into it having probably seen it more recently than you, and I think I might be going 4. Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not wedded to that. So
I'm excited to find out what you didn't like about this movie.
Right, there's not much. It's mainly some clunky dialogue on that vehicle.
Okay. Well,
that doesn't work for me, but which I didn't remember being so dumb. But
I also want to say
it's
there's
kind
a
of
nostalgia factor, Henry. I've mentioned on the podcast before, this was my first R-rated movie.
Oh.
My mom took me to see it. I saw so I think it came out in June. But it was like the summer already. Like I was out of school. So I think probably like based on like word of mouth, like a few weeks after it came out, my parents went to go see this movie in upstate New York. And they saw it and they were like, Dan would like this movie. It's not that bad. They say fuck a couple times. Dennis Hopper gets decapitated.
You're 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like way into movies by this point.
Mm.
In 1994, because like the movie that really broke everything open for me was Jurassic Park.
Right.
So, I think just my mom took me to see it, and I fucking loved this movie, and I owned it on VHS for years.
Yeah,
and,
I think I did too.
Never got it on DVD, but I watched the shit out of it.
Yeah. But there's nothing, I don't, and I hear where you're coming from, but there's no need to defend it with nostalgia because it probably is a 5-star movie. I mean, I'm probably going to come around with
it
the
is.
5.
I don't give a shit about nostalgia when
right,
it comes
I know
to
you
my
don't.
ratings.
No, of course. And so we'll talk it through and I'll probably end up at a 5. I just
you don't have to.
I wanted to leave this open because I didn't, I wanted to think it through.
All right, well, let's talk it through. They solve this elevator. Jack Traven gets a medal, I think, right?
Yes.
And Dennis Hopper, too, and he's got a cane now. And they go out.
You mean Jeff Daniels, yes.
What did I say, Dennis Hopper?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels. So they go out to a bar. They get mad wasted, the whole bomb squad.
Right.
Here's something I forgot about Speed. They're all meant to have hangovers the next day.
This was poorly edited. I figured this out.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't think you'd bring this up at all. I never noticed, but okay. There was a problem with the editing. They clearly made a different decision.
Ooh, so maybe Forrest Gump deserved that Oscar.
Yeah, right. Well, what happened is, so the timeline in the movie makes it look like it's the fucking next day.
It's not the day after the elevator. I think it's the day after the medal ceremony.
Right. Okay. But it's kind of unclear because they have it like everything happens all at once, and then they sort of say later that it was some time ago, like months have elapsed.
Of course, because Jeff Daniels is out of the hospital. He got shot.
Right. But also when they
walking.
go out. But when they go out, it's sort of implied that they went out the night of the elevator thing.
No,
too.
I never thought that.
No?
I think they're celebrating the medals.
Okay. Yeah, it was just a little strange. I had to wrap my head around that. So you're saying the night of the elevator thing not relevant. It's not. It's
Night of the Elevator thing is my favorite zombie movie.
M. Night Shyamalan's Night of the Elevator thing.
Pretty. Hey, that's that movie Devil.
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought of Devil when I watched this.
I actually did too. I watched it kind of recently though.
I saw it a long time ago. I don't know why I thought of it, but yeah. Okay, good. That's cleared up.
Mm-hmm.
We're back up to 5. All right. Just kidding. All right. So Keanu goes and gets his coffee.
Yeah,
right?
he runs
His
into
local
his
joint.
friend who's a bus driver, played by the guy who played Aguado in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Anytime they need a big fat looking
Yeah,
Italian,
he's the
slash
guy that
Greek
Jim Carrey
stereotype.
talked to him with his butt.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't remember. It's been decades.
you should see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
we
I
should
will
cover
for
it.
this.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I know.
But
No shit.
anyway, that bus, Aguado gets on the bus, boom, explosion.
Brutal.
Yeah, pretty brutal. So then a payphone starts to ring.
Like that touch.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Keanu picks it up. Hello?
Yeah, your Keanu is so much better than mine. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what's great about Keanu? He always overpronounces.
Please tell me.
He overpronounces his A's. Like if he doesn't say like "Hey man," he says
Right.
"Hey man."
Yeah. God,
We're
is he
going to Los Angeles.
He is one of the most difficult actors for me
He's great.
to figure out how I feel about him. We
He's great.
talked about him a couple years ago on The Matrix, and I just don't know. He confuses me. I feel like he doesn't deserve to be liked in any way. But then when I watch him, he's fine, but he's never anyone who I'm just like, oh man. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a conversation, and I doubt you have, or maybe you have, where you're like, oh, I mean, Keanu Reeves. I mean, you're talking about action stars. I mean, there's Bruce Willis. There's
It's not a
fucking
matter
Keanu
of action
Reeves.
stars. Keanu is one of these guys. I see him more in the camp of Nick Cage, where like he got his start as like an indie actor, and that's kind of where he best fits in things like River's Edge or My Own Private Idaho.
I think he's really good in Point Break.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He fits for me way better in Point Break than he does in like Matrix and this. Even though he's
just
good
think
in this,
he's
but
one of these sort of left of center actors that somehow ended up in like big movies.
that's interesting.
And
Because
so
I don't think of him as an indie actor. It's so ingrained in me now not to. But you're right. He probably, yeah. But I mean, if he was an indie actor, I mean, though, how would he have fared if he had never gotten a big break like that? I mean, he's not a great actor. So
But I think he would have ended up having like an Ethan Hawke career.
really,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's as good. Like he's not a great actor.
And he's not that smart.
No, he's not.
Ethan
he's
Hawke.
one of these guys who thinks he's smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he reads a lot.
Dogstar.
Dogstar, sure. He I just think he does carry the screen, Henry.
I think he has help.
He has star power and charisma.
Okay. He has star power.
Are
And maybe
you're telling me Sandra Bullock's his help in this movie?
and Jeff Daniels, yeah, both of them.
Sandra Bullock doesn't show up until 31 minutes into
That's
this
true.
movie, which was a pleasure. And
Really?
yeah.
I thought
And
you liked her. In
I
this.
do, but it was like you don't. I remember it being way more of a two-hander.
Oh,
and this
sure,
one,
yeah.
like Keanu's the star,
That's true. Yeah.
and I loved it. I like following Jack Traven.
Yeah.
One of the reasons Speed 2 doesn't work is because Keanu's not in it.
That's one of the reasons.
That's one of the many reasons.
And that's true. And having having said that, I did think of that too as well for the sequel.
Like, think about
so I
this,
guess that
Henry.
says something,
In Speed 2, you got Jason Patric.
right?
And Jason Patric might technically be a better actor than Keanu Reeves.
Right, because I know you've shit on him a lot, but I mean, he's good in Your Friends and Neighbors. He's good in Narc. I mean, he can act.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah,
But
in
he
this,
can't hold that screen the way Keanu can.
it's true. You know what I would say Keanu brings an intensity. Because
There's
I was
intensity.
Yeah, because I was thinking about. I read a lot of the actors that were considered, and I sort of did think of one guy that would have been as good.
Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah. God, you're good. No, and I think you'll agree with me, but maybe I don't. Tom Cruise, he would have done it. He could have done this.
No,
You don't think he would have been good in this?
no, he would have. You're right. But I mean,
He would have brought the
it
humor.
would have
He
been
would
a
have delivered
different
the
kind
lines.
of performance, but he could have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially back then, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. But whatever, we got Keanu, and you're right. He's good. He the way it's the way he talks. If you get through that, you can get through.
I can get through it, man. We'll do Bill and Ted.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the sequence where he has to find the bus, chase the bus, that's all awesome. I mean, that's great. He gets on the highway.
He gets on the highway. He steals a car. Okay.
Yeah.
From a fella who's really hamming it up, but he's good.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah.
I like him.
I want to know more about this character, of course. His license plate. Yeah, I know we will. His license plate says Toon Man. I'm like, ooh, what? He's a DJ or something?
Yeah. I like the also the not so subtle touch, but it didn't have to be because I remember the 90s, man. And, when he commandeers that vehicle, the driver's like, hey, man, I paid for this with my own money. I didn't steal it. It's like, ouch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
There's a lot of that. I remember Speed came out the same, week of the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase.
It must have, right?
Yeah, because it was I remember that being very present.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that just reminded me of that because, reflecting current events.
Yeah. Not as, although that OJ chase was also pretty entertaining. If we're talking about the chase and Speed and the camera, the helicopter footage.
What's better? The first Speed or the second episode of American Crime Story, The People v. O.J. Simpson?
You always have to put the tough ones to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'd rather say what's better, Speed 2 Cruise Control or the OJ actual chase, the live footage.
I'd rather watch OJ murdering Ron Goldman than fucking
Jesus Christ.
watch Speed 2 Cruise Control again. Oh.
Oh, my knee.
Okay, so
that's an old Damon Wayans OJ joke.
Oh, okay. So he's got so Sandy B meanwhile is on this bus. All right. She's friends with the bus driver. She's lost her license because of speeding. How about that touch?
Yeah, nice.
Subtle. Right. Most of the people on this bus are nobodies except for Alan Ruck.
Right.
And in 1994, Alan Ruck might as well have been a nobody.
Yeah, I mean, nobody. Oh, that's the guy from Ferris.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I thought when
It was pre-Spin City. That was a bit of a Ruck-a-sance.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But there's a great podcast, Henry, that I'd recommend called I Was There Too with Matt Gorley, and he interviews people that were sort of tangentially involved in films.
Oh.
And there's one episode where he interviews all of the passengers of the bus in Speed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because they're in every scene, but
they really are.
Most of them don't have any dialogue.
That's true. They're way beyond extras. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
In movies like this, the people in the building in Die Hard, they're totally expendable and don't have. But these guys are just there the entire time. It's the same faces.
They were there too.
They were there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, hey. It's loaded. All right. My favorite Sandra Bullock moment in the movie, which I read was improvised by her, which sort of, I was very skeptical of Sandy B going in because of so many years of bad performances. And
bad movies.
Yeah, I know. But bad performances in good movies, too.
No.
Gravity. And so she gets up, Ruck is chatting her ear off.
Yeah.
She's gotta she wants to move her seat.
Yes.
And she takes the gum out of her mouth and holds it up and she says, I've got gum on my seat. Gum.
She improv'd that?
She improv'd that.
That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Jeez. Yeah, I did not remember also that scene even existed. I do not remember that, so it was
I
funny to
forgot
begin with.
so many scenes in this movie. Because, okay, there's that great sequence where Keanu's trying to get on the bus.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did that himself, I read.
Don't slow down. All right. He jumps on there.
This is why I like this dialogue, because I can make fun of Keanu Reeves, but you can defend him while also satisfying my need to make fun of him.
Yeah.
It's helping me out. It's
You know
helping
what
me
the
out.
best Keanu line
It's
reading
an aid
is
to me.
in the movie?
What? Oh, there's a lot. So what?
Here's my favorite though, and it's the thing I was saying with the A, and it's his great California fucking accent. But
Yeah.
he when they are going fast riding around the city and they run over what they think is a baby carriage,
Yes.
and it turns out the baby carriage is full of cans.
Right. Right.
And Keanu, very relieved, says to Sandra Bullock, "Cans. It was cans."
Yeah, I noticed that too, and when it's funny because if you were Sandra Bullock's character, wouldn't you be kind of like, wait, what? What do you mean? What does that mean?
Why were there cans?
Yeah, I just hit a baby. What are you talking about? It's cans.
It
What's
was
cans?
Well, she can see it in that giant rear view
Yeah, the
mirror
rearview mirror.
buses have.
What is it? It's cans.
Cans. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's good. That's a good choice
For sure.
in an ocean full of choices. Yes.
Oh, Ocean. Is that an Ocean's 8 reference?
No. Thank you.
Okay.
In a freeway full of cars, full of choices.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good one.
So they're riding around on the freeway. There's lots of stunts. He's going under the bus. That's great.
That's great.
Yep. They jump it. That's really stupid, but great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what they do really well here too, which is really, really good, and definitely for me also puts it up, like you said, in the best action movies of that decade or of all time. I mean, whatever. Is the edits in that are so superb that I mean, I don't know about you. You may have spotted it. I didn't. I don't think there was a moment where I spotted a stuntman.
No, neither did I. But
I
I'm
mean,
not
that's
great at
that's
catching that sort of thing.
I always see that shit. I do not know why. It's not because I'm already aware that most actors don't do their own stunts. Not everybody's a fucking maniac.
Except
Like
for Cruise.
Right. Not everybody's a maniac like Cruise, who goes for it. But
Good callback.
thanks, thank you. But it's time. It kind of happens a lot, and so this one, shit. If I noticed anything, man, nothing.
Shit,
So-
if I noticed anything, man. Yeah.
Say that like Keanu.
Ugh. Shit, if I noticed anything.
Man.
Man. Yeah. So, what? The whole movie, they're just riding around, bro.
Got to keep above 50 miles
Gotta
an hour.
keep above 50. That's the premise.
And Jeff Daniels is trying to find out the identity.
And that's a
of-
great subplot. So every
It
so often
really is.
we're cutting back over there to the police station. Daniel's on the phone with Keanu. Daniel's chatting with his other bomb squad people.
Yeah.
And
And it needs to happen like that because I think that too much on the bus would probably get monotonous.
so they finally figure out who it is. It's Dennis Hopper. He's an ex-bomb squad guy.
And I like how they figure it out. Do you remember? Did you catch that? It's not something I remembered at all.
I didn't remember either. Well,
Well,
I don't
when-
remember now what happened.
When Keanu goes under the bus, he's describing the bomb and he says it's a gold watch, looks cheap. And that's how Jeff Daniels.
Well, that was his gold watch?
No, it's Dennis Hopper's retirement gift. It's what
That's
they
right,
gave him,
yeah.
and Jeff Daniels remembers that something about I think it's in the elevator sequence where Dennis Hopper says, what would you do if you were shot and given a pension and a gold watch for losing your, you know what I mean? And
Well,
so
Dennis
Jeff Daniels-
Hopper,
yeah.
he was like a cop who, retired and was unhappy with his pension, and he was
Right.
he sort of broke bad, became a bomber,
Right.
a mad
Right.
bomber,
Right.
And you know, it's like
Can we talk about Dennis Hopper for a second too?
what?
in
How
this
fucking
movie?
awesome he is in this.
In this movie? Yeah. I mean,
He's the best villain.
He's so good. I mean, it I was even thinking about how much I love him as a crazy person in Red Rock West, and he's not like worse or better in that. He's exactly as good. But in this movie, he is just this was a role. I don't know who else would have played that.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman's a better actor, but for this role,
No, I mean,
I don't know, because so much of the dialogue depends upon Dennis Hopper's diction.
Dennis Hopper also has like maybe the most Whedon-y dialogue in the movie.
Oh, does he? I mean,
Yeah.
his diction and his delivery are just completely idiosyncratic to him. So Gary Oldman delivering the same stuff, it's just not going to be the same. So, I mean, I quoted a paraphrase him at the beginning, but I laughed out loud, LOL, in the beginning when the elevator thing goes bad for him and he just grabs Jeff Daniels to get out of the elevator. And he's like, well, this day turned out to be pretty disappointing, if I do say so myself. I just love that shit. He delivers the most mundane lines with like, it's just got an inflection that only he has,
He's great. I love Dennis Hopper.
Holding the phone with the good hand he has. I like that touch. Remember
that's
that?
right. He's got
He
a
has
bad
to hold-
hand.
Yeah, he has no thumb on the other
Yeah,
hand.
he's on
Like
9
cross.
fingers.
It's great. Yeah.
Love him. He plays different kinds of psychos.
That's true.
Like he is one of these guys that plays a lot of villains, but they're never quite the same villain.
They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different
And,
shades of villainy.
And I completely didn't remember when he calls Sandra Bullock the Wildcat.
You know who could have played this role? I thought of it.
Who?
Michael Douglas.
He was filming Falling Down.
Yeah, which is the same character.
Like a disgruntled ex-employee.
Yes.
Interesting. That'd be interesting to see Michael Douglas play like a psychopath.
He should. He's
think he really-
unlikable.
Right. Yeah, he couldn't have done this though.
All right. Okay.
But I like your choice if you're being serious.
I
mean, that's
am.
interesting.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
who cares? Why are we
Right.
recasting this perfectly cast film?
I didn't.
I know. Well, you were saying Tom Cruise and Keanu.
Yeah.
All right.
That I stand by. But yeah, so all that shit's happening. It's great.
So the bus driver gets shot. They got to deal with that. They send some people off the bus. Beth Grant gets killed.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Beth Grant, by the way, I mean, playing like an old lady in this. She's been playing like a 75-year-old woman for the
Forever.
last like 40 years.
I know, right? I was looking her up because, she's one of those character actors you see all the time.
Yeah, she's
And
been
she
on
just-
that Mindy project for a bunch of years.
Okay. Yeah, she just looks old, but it got her a lot of work.
Yeah.
And she's an idiot in the movie, and she's the equivalent of the woman in the elevator.
She is the equivalent of the woman on the elevator because she's not an idiot at first. Like she's like
No.
Sandra Bullock actually likes talking to her on the
Right.
bus.
Right. But she pulls the opposite thing of the woman in the elevator. She's all too eager to get off that bus.
She's got to
And
get the fuck off this bus.
And they tell her, don't. But some of the dumb cops are like, yeah, come on. So obviously their comms were down because they didn't realize they were only allowed to get off the guy who was shot. And so Hopper blows the stairwell and she gets run over.
Yeah. Well, she gets run over and like exploded. Like she has a real bad death.
Woo! Yeah, that's rough.
All right. So Sandy B and Keanu, they're off the bus. They save the bus. There's that whole video camera sequence, which is pretty clever.
Yeah, that is looping. I like that.
Yeah. And they're kind of feeling each other out. They kind of like each other, but she's heard that like what is the line they say 100 times in Speed 2?
Yeah, relationships to begin in intense circumstances don't have a good chance of lasting, or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Or high risk circumstances. Whatever.
Right. When they get off that bus and they roll around in the airport, that's when I wanted to ask you the key question. This
What?
is solely for you. This is a long movie.
Is it? It's an hour
So-
55.
Right.
That's how long it should be.
Okay. Yeah.
If this was a little shorter, it would feel unfinished to me.
'Cause
Like,
it
you
got-
need that third act, that last 20 minutes.
That was going to be my question to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get 3 acts, like
Well,
full.
but one
3
of
acts,
one
right.
of the things I liked about it is that it seems like it's going to end when they get off the bus. And
Right.
like other movies might have done that, other lazier movies. And
Right.
and I think like the third act really adds a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like The Chase came out this year with Charlie Sheen,
I remember that.
and
Yeah,
that just sort of ends when the chase ends.
yeah. Right.
That could have
right.
used the third act.
What? I missed that. I'm sorry.
I
what?
said that could have used the third act.
Oh yeah. That's Christy Swanson of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You better believe it. And written and directed by Adam Rifkin.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Ron,
directed?
Ron Rifkin's son.
Is it? I don't think
No,
so.
I have no idea.
Yeah, he ended up directing what became Burt Reynolds' final performance.
Really?
Yeah, that movie, The Last Movie Star.
Jesus.
But
Okay.
Adam Rifkin, of course, known by me for the great The Dark Backward.
Oh,
Great film.
don't know. Never heard of it.
Really? It's a
Nope.
1991 indie where Judd Nelson has a third arm growing out of his chest.
Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
We hardly knew ye.
He's great
Yeah.
in The Right Thing.
Right.
Suddenly Susan. Okay, so Dennis Hopper manages to get a hold of Sandra Bullock, straps her with a bomb, ties her up on a subway train.
Yeah.
Keanu gets on top of the train.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a better train sequence than the last bit in Mission Impossible, the first one.
It looks better.
It's better
Yeah.
in every way.
No, you're right. You're right. I think you're right about that. You know, can I confess something to you? I felt bad about one moment in the movie
Like what?
when Dennis Hopper opens his money and they put a dye pack in there and ruin it all.
And he goes, "My money!"
I felt bad. I was like, oh man,
Oh, poor bomber.
can't you just give him the money? He's gonna die anyway.
Well, he
Yeah.
does have a relatable narrative in terms
Yeah,
of like
I
why
guess, and
his
I don't
motive
know,
and shit.
Right, and it's just funny. I was like, because
I
I
had a
know
little
how
bit
he
of a
dies. It's
twinge.
pretty famous, and it's just like, oh man, they had to put a dye pack in there. It's like, geez. So he gets to enjoy his money for like 5 minutes. You know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Anyway, then he kills Richard Schiff.
Yeah, fucking Richard Schiff is the train like conductor, and I don't think he has a line of dialogue.
No, I don't think he's like maybe something to the controller. I don't know. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. He doesn't last long.
You know what? The Fugitive, Henry, is a contender for best action movie of the 90s, and I think Speed's better because I was thinking of train sequences.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good pick. Well, I mean, overall, I like The Fugitive more.
Yeah, well, you know what I think about that?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Tommy Lee Jones.
That's right, baby.
TLJ. Yeah, I like The Fugitive better, but I mean, if you're talking pure action, I don't know. It's a totally different movie, man.
It is,
Action,
it is.
It's going on different things there, but yeah. Okay, well, are we wrapping this one up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I do want to say when they get off the bus, Henry.
Yeah. Because we skipped over a lot of cool action scenes. I mean, Jeff Daniels' death is sad.
Oh my God, so horrible.
That's rough. And I did like. I'm going to put this out there. I thought when he dies, that's Keanu's best acting.
I agree.
He actually gets emotional, and it's very convincing.
You know why?
Why?
Because River Phoenix
Oh,
died
yeah.
during the making of Speed, and so Keanu was a little tapped into that emotion.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
Ah.
I also I want to say when they got, and that was Joss Whedon's idea, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they get off the bus, I love that they have the bus roll and run into an airplane.
Oh my
Like
God.
for the sole purpose of they wanted the explosion to be bigger.
completely.
Yeah,
So
because it was
we-
like in the first act, we already saw Guado on a bus that explodes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's like we can't just like in now have another bus explode. We already saw that shit. So
Right.
it runs into an
And
airplane.
what I thought was so funny about that, and also went through my mind, was we've sort of avoided too many casualties at this point. Like, besides the woman on the bus and Aguado dying, there hasn't been too many casualties. I'm not going to say that anyone on the freeway wasn't hurt, but let's say they weren't. So at this point, we've saved these, 10 people, and then we crash and explode a 747. I'm hoping just the pilot died. I'm hoping it was an empty plane.
I think it was an empty plane. It was just
I'm
sitting
hoping.
on the runway.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we didn't kill like 300 other people. But
I don't imagine we did. That would have been a bit of a downer ending just to save fucking Sandra Bullock.
yeah.
What do you give this movie?
All right. I'm going to drop my hard heart. I'm going to go with what I went into it with. I'm going to
go for.
Yeah. You think?
I think if you're being honest with yourself, you feel this film is a 4.
But I'm always going to watch it.
Yeah. So
Always.
what? 4 is high. I
know,
almost never give things 5.
Yeah, I know, but we're different. I always like when something's going to be in my canon. I'm usually going. All right, you're right. I'm going to go 4, but it's a
Okay.
very, very high 4.
Okay.
And you're going 5.
I'm going 5.
I love it because I honestly didn't know. I thought you might even come out of this with a 3. I just did not know how you felt about this.
I can't believe how good this movie is.
Yeah, it's great.
Who's your MVP?
Yeah. That was hard. Baby, I had a 3-way tie that I was going to decide on the show, and I'm going to decide right now. You want to hear my 3 contenders?
I'm ready to go.
Sandra Bullock,
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Hopper, and John DeBont.
I like it. Dennis Hopper was in consideration for me, and Joss Whedon was in consideration for me. But I'm gonna go with Jeff Daniels.
That's a good. I kind of thought you would.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Who's yours?
All right. I'm gonna go with Sandra Bullock.
I knew you would.
Well, I just think she's really good in this. She's, I think
you
another.
really want her to be okay.
No, you do, and I think another actress could have had some of those nervous tics and stuff and been very annoying.
It's a star-making performance. You can absolutely see why 1 year after Speed, she was getting lead roles.
Full of work. Yeah, she's full of work after this, and not good stuff all the time. But yeah, I mean, she really pops through. I think she's great, so I'm gonna give it to her. The LVP was even harder. You're going Jeff Daniels for the MVP. LVP, I want to go with just one of those characters on the bus, because I found a couple of them a little irritating.
I like it. Who are you going with?
I think it was between Beth Grant and Ortiz.
Oh, fucking hell. Ortiz. Or wait, which one was Ortiz? Was he the big guy?
Yeah.
I didn't mind Ortiz. He reminded me a little bit of Bill Nunn.
I know that name.
Radio Raheem.
Oh.
I'm going to go with a bus guy, too. And I'm between the dude who shot the driver and Beth Grant. And I think I'm going to go with Beth Grant. But, part of it works because her death is really satisfying.
You know what? I had thought about the guy who shoots the bus driver because his acting is pretty poor. And he's sharing a scene with Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves.
And it's not the most credible plot twist in the movie.
No, it's not. It's not. All right, I'll go with him. That's a good choice because he was in the running for me when I was watching the movie. And afterwards, I didn't think about it again. But I'll go with Guy with Gun.
All right.
Is that who you're going with, or Beth?
I'm gonna go with Beth Grant.
Okay. Oh, all right.
All right.
Okay.
What's the superhero count on this baby?
Well, let's find out, huh?
Da 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 da.
Got a 5 count. Keanu Reeves and Constantine.
Oh, that's right. Of course, he was a superhero.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Dennis Hopper in The Crow Wicked Prayer.
Yeah,
El Nino he played.
that's right. With
I am El Nino.
with David Boreanaz.
There you go. Joe Morton.
Oh,
Big D's.
Cyborg's dad. Yeah.
Cyborg's dad, Dr. Silas Stone, and also was in an episode of Smallville, playing a character named Dr. Hamilton.
Sure.
There was a character in this movie named Bob. Don't know who that is.
Who's Bob?
It might have been Guado. I don't know.
Oh,
John Capodice.
maybe.
He was in The Phantom.
Sure.
He played a character named Al the Cabbie.
That sounds like a Guado.
Sounds like
he
a
could play a
Guado, right?
cabbie for sure.
Yeah. And, of course, the great Richard Schiff. And I'm not being sarcastic because he is great.
Yeah, he's amazing.
But he was in Man of Steel, playing Emil Hamilton, the
Who
doctor.
could possibly remember? Dr. Hamilton?
Oh, good point. Maybe it's the same character.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's it.
Okay. I want to talk about Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Let's do it.
Comes to us 3 years later. The magic number, usually. Jan de Bont's back in the director's chair. Graham Yost pitched a couple of ideas for it,
Okay.
including a boat that was carrying materials that could not hit the water or the boat would blow up, and a plane that couldn't fly. It was like flying through the Andes and it couldn't fly over a certain amount of feet.
Boy, he was reaching.
He was trying.
He was really reaching.
Yeah. Ultimately, Jan de Bont says, the guy who wrote Speed, no thank you. I don't believe Joss Whedon was offered any work on this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Buffy, I think, premiered the year this movie came out. So it comes out with a script by a couple of fellas. You know, Jan de Bont actually came up with the idea for the movie, Henry.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had Jan de Bont had a dream. All right?
Oh, no, I didn't read this.
Yeah, he had a dream that affected him very much about an ocean liner crashing into like a resort community. And
Really?
Yeah, and Jan de Bont was like, I gotta put that in a movie. And so when it came time for Speed 2, that was his only idea. Just write me a movie where at the end I can have a cruise ship crash into a resort community.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was high off a twister at the time.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So he first comes up with a draft of the script with a fella named McCormick? Yeah, Randall McCormick. Okay. Randall McCormick, I don't know how he got this gig. I mean, he must have just been friends with Jan de Bont because they did it together. So Speed 2 is his first ever film credit. Hasn't done a lot of work since. He worked on Titan AE, where he was again rewritten by Joss Whedon.
Oh, man.
And since then has only worked on direct-to-DVD sequels.
Oh, boy.
He has credits on The Scorpion King 2 and 3
Ooh.
and Blue Crush 2. Okay?
Well, you know what, man? It's a paycheck.
It's a paycheck. He got rewritten though by a fellow named Jeff Nathanson, who we've talked about on the show before and has just been failing upwards low these many years.
Really?
Yeah. So he got the Speed 2 job off of a script he had written called For Better or Worse, which came out and starred and was directed by Jason Alexander. It made no money, but sure, let's get that guy, Speed 2.
Jason Alexander?
Yes.
The guy in the KFC commercials now?
yeah, Bob Patterson himself. All right. So, of course, Speed 2 comes out, flops. Brett Ratner's like, right, Rush Hour 2.
Really?
Okay? Yeah. So Rush Hour 2 comes out, gets horrible reviews. Steven Spielberg's like, I like the cut of this guy's jib. Hires him to write Catch Me If You Can,
Jesus.
The Terminal, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I really like two of those movies.
One of them.
I like The Terminal.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Everyone hates it. I like it.
because it's bad.
I like it.
He also wrote Rush Hour 3, of course. And then he got a job writing Tower Heist. Okay.
Say again. Sorry.
Tower Heist.
Okay. All right.
Then after Tower Heist, he wrote the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean, which nobody liked.
Jeez.
Uh-huh. And now he's currently working on the Lion King remake.
So this guy is.
He's never written a good script.
And he keeps getting big profile work.
What is up with this guy?
That's
This
funny.
is
man.
white male privilege.
Yeah. Holy shit. Whose nephew is he? My
I have no
God.
fucking idea.
That's crazy, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, that is so bizarre and unfair. My lord.
It sucks. Okay, so that he gets the final script for this.
Yeah.
They offer the movie to Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves passes.
Yeah.
He does Devil's Advocate instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, better movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cha.
Mm-hmm. They then offer that role to Matthew McConaughey, who passes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I read that. That was a little interesting to me because he could have probably been in the mid '90s somebody who
He was
would've-
intense. He had just done A Time to Kill, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. I think him and Sandy B were an item for a little bit, and I think that might have been a Sandy B wreck.
It was a Sandy B wreck. Sandy B was also in an item with Jason Patrick.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, I don't know about Jason Patrick.
I might
but-
be. I think I'm wrong about that. No,
don't
no.
know.
Jason Patrick dated Julia Roberts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Matthew McConaughey says no. He's got to contemplate the universe for a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Who else says no?
I don't know who else says no. I mean, there were other people in mind, but the offers went out to Keanu
Okay.
Reeves and Matthew McConaughey, and then they offered it to Jason Patrick, who initially didn't want to do it.
Right.
I mean, he's Jason Patrick.
Yeah. And I read that him and Sandra Bullock pretty much both did it so they could work on other movies.
It's true. It's kind of amazing. Like these two, I guess they want to make art movies. And so they're like, I guess I'll do Speed 2 to finance my art movie.
Right, yeah.
So Jason Patrick was given, I think he got paid like $5 million. And he
Yeah.
used the entire earnings from this movie to help finance Neil LaBute, Your Friends and Neighbors,
Wow. He used
Yeah.
all of his. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
which is a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it did much for
Jason.
Jason Patrick's career, but
No. Yeah.
good.
Yeah. All right.
Jason Patrick since has not gotten shy about being in terrible sequels to good things.
Is that right?
Yeah, I recall I may mention season 2 of Wayward Pines.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I only watched season 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandra Bullock got paid $13 million to be in this movie, and the only reason she even took that amount of money because the studio offered to greenlight her passion project, Henry.
Hope floats.
Hope Floats! She wanted to make
That's
out with Harry
always
Connick Jr. that bad?
I guess. It's a lot of work to put in. What a terrible title for a movie.
Hope
Jesus.
Floats?
Jesus.
It's not
Christ.
that bad.
It just
Honestly, Speed 2 Hope Floats is better than Cruise Control.
Hope floats just has like a bathroom connotation to me.
That's pretty great.
Well, that's what it does to me. It's just like shit floats. I can't. I can't. All right. I never saw it, but
I saw it.
yeah, you've probably seen more Sandra Bullock movies than I have.
Almost definitely. We should have ranked her movies this week.
We should have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see Practical Magic.
Me too. That's terrible.
I like that.
That's
because-
crazy that you like that.
No, I didn't like it, but I was completely in love with the two leads. Like,
Well,
that,
I'll tell
those-
you what. Sandra Bullock's better in that movie than Nicole Kidman is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the height of my Nicole Kidman, and oh yeah,
I'll tell you who else turned this movie down. Gary Oldman.
I did see that.
He got offered the role of the villain that went to Willem Dafoe, and
Right.
he turned it down for Air Force One, which
Good
is like
move.
a similar thing.
It is, but that's a good move because I like Air Force One.
No, it's totally way better movie.
Yeah, and it's Wolfgang Peterson. You got your Harrison
Get off my
Ford,
plane.
of course.
Yeah,
Right.
you got Glenn Close as the vice president.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Planes. Why did it have to be planes?
Planes, why did it have to be planes? Russians, why did it have to be Russians? Okay. So this movie is greenlit with a budget of $160 million.
That's fucking.
That's an increase of 130 from the previous movie.
That is nuts.
And it looks cheaper.
You think? I
Except for
'cause
the
it's-
fucking thing that, fucking Jan de Bont's dream, which apparently was a quarter of the budget.
Yeah, it had to be, because that was one thought that went through my head when I was watching this in 2 sittings. That it at least it doesn't all look terrible.
It looks terrible.
Yeah. What you mean? Like the what do you mean? The filtering,
It's
lighting.
boring. Cruise ships are not interesting to look at on
Right.
the interior.
Right.
And that's where a lot of this movie is.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and unless you're in a movie where you're like trapped on a ship, and there's tons of those, but like
Ooh,
like
Ghost Ship.
well, like I'm thinking like the Poseidon Adventure is a classic '70s B movie, but
Alien
I think
Resurrection.
hey,
Yeah.
we covered one that's not really a ship, but is all interior
Deep
underwater.
Blue Sea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That looked
Better
good.
movie.
Hell yeah. We're gonna put the cap on that. We're gonna be saying that a lot.
Yeah. I want to talk about some awards.
Oh, I better. Okay.
Speed
I know
2,
I don't have to pull up my Oscar theme.
Speed 2 Cruise Control was nominated for 8 Golden Raspberry Awards.
Nice.
Yep. It only won one of them.
Ooh.
Yeah. Worst remake or sequel.
All right.
Okay. It was nominated for Worst Picture, Henry.
Mm.
It lost to The Postman.
Oh.
It was Sandra Bullock was nominated for Worst Actress of the Year.
Really?
Yep.
It's not very nice.
She lost to Demi Moore for G.I. Jane.
Ooh.
By the way, a much better movie.
Yeah, I don't like that movie, but
Me
of
neither.
course it's
better than this.
Yep.
It's Ridley Scott. Fucking. It was worst supporting actor. Henry was Willem Dafoe was nominated.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost to Dennis Rodman for Double Team. All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock and Jason Patric lost worst screen couple to Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme for Double Team. All right.
You know, sometimes those raspberries actually have a funny joke.
Yeah. Occasionally.
Not often.
Yeah. It lost worst director and worst screenplay to the same man, Henry. Kevin Costner for The Postman.
Yeah, fair enough. Contrary to popular belief, I never saw The Postman.
That's crazy.
No.
I wonder
So-
if you'd love it.
Well, what do you think with the two of us? You think that The Postman is better than Speed 2 Cruise Control?
It's certainly more ambitious. I'd rather watch Speed 2 again just because it's shorter.
Right. What is The Postman? Another
I think it's like 3 hours.
3 hours.
But I mean the Postman's at least weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And it lost worst song to The Postman. The Postman really swept that year.
Oh, we didn't talk about the great Billy Idol song at the end of Speed.
Yeah, that's good.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I kept the credits on. I was doing something.
I didn't. I shut off the credits.
Yeah, you know me. I always do too. But I was
Mm-hmm.
doing something when it was over, so I was like, "Oh, let's see." Just for fun, I was like, "I wonder if there's gonna." I literally thought I was like, "I wonder if there's gonna be a Speed song," because I didn't remember, and there was, and I was like, "Who the fuck? That sounds like Billy
Yeah,
Idol."
it's
So
called
fast-
Speed.
Right. So I fast forwarded to the end where the music credits, and it was Billy Idol. I
Billy
was
Idol's
like,
great.
Yes, love him.
In this movie, it was like there's like a love theme.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's in it, right? What they had high hopes for this singer.
Yes. There's a singer. I think her name's like Tamia,
Right.
and
right.
she's singing on this cruise ship. You know who else is on this cruise ship?
Who?
UB40.
They really are.
They have like a performance on this
I
cruise
forgot
ship.
about that. They are
They
100%.
sing like red wine. And can I ask
Well,
you a question?
Yeah.
Are we to intuit that UB40 dies?
I think they got off on one of the. Among one
All
of
I'm
these,
saying is we see them on this cruise ship.
and that's it.
There's a lot of explosions, and then we don't see them get off the cruise ship.
Yeah, I mean the among the hundreds of problems with this
You
movie.
think Chrissy Hind was on this cruise ship? She performed with UB40.
Maybe Natalie Wood was on it.
That's
But
true.
I think
It's true.
one of
Maybe
the
Ted
hundreds
Kennedy
of.
was on it.
Okay, all right. Wait, that doesn't even make sense.
I couldn't think of the name of the lady.
One of the things that doesn't make sense is that I was actually legitimately confused, and then I just gave up, obviously. But I tried, having never seen it. The evacuation process is very strange because presumably this cruise ship is filled with what? I've never been on a cruise.
There's
nor
got
have
to be like
ever-
1,000 life.
It has to be, right?
You know,
Okay,
boats.
all right. Okay,
Lifeboat,
so-
better movie.
yeah. So, but how many people actually get off? I mean, the assumption towards
There's got to
the
be
middle
hundreds of people on this cruise ship.
but the assumption, at least from the camera work and all the sequences that follow,
We
are that
only
almost
ever
that-
see like 8
that
people.
everybody got off except for like these 20 people,
Except for UB40.
UB40 and these 20 people, because the assumption otherwise is that all these people are still on this boat, 600 people or whatever the hell
Yeah.
there are, and we just never see them. So they
We see
must have gotten off
they are represented
initial-
by a little deaf girl, the guy who played the maintenance worker in the apartment building on Friends, and
Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was the Mako guy.
that's right. He is.
That's how I remembered him. Amco.
Yeah.
Beep beep.
Double A, beep beep, MCO. And who else? There's like one other passenger we see a lot of.
There was a Die Hard with a Vengeance callback.
There's a black guy who's always trying to like sell his photographs.
God, that was annoying.
Yeah, apparently he was a stand-up comic who Jan de Bont saw in a club and asked to be in this movie.
Okay.
Jan de Bont ran Hollywood. I don't know what the fuck.
And nobody questioned, man.
Yeah. Before we get too deep into this movie, Henry, could we do our 1997 top 10 list? Because I redid mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I do. I have some honorable mentions.
I
wanna
do
blow-
too.
Okay, I'm sure I have a lot more than you. I want to blow through them. These
Okay.
are great movies that didn't quite make it.
Great movies.
Good to great movie.
No, I'm saying I have a lot of great movies
Yeah. All right.
that didn't make my list.
All right. First, I don't think you'll give me shit for any of these except for the first one.
Okay.
Amistad.
I'm not even going to give you shit for that.
All right. The Ice Storm.
Yep, that's on my honorable mentions.
The Boxer.
Mm,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
yeah,
Jim
it's
Sheridan.
decent Jim Sheridan.
I got to put The Edge on there. I love
I
that
know,
movie.
you love it. Thank you.
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah, good movie.
Eve's Bayou.
Oh, I like that pick.
Right. Lost Highway.
That's 96.
No, it's not. I saw that in the theater.
I think it's
In-
96.
I'm really sure it's not. But anyway, One Night Stand.
Yeah, not bad. Interesting. Mike Figgis.
Yuli's Gold.
a very frequent crossword clue.
You're right.
Yeah.
Peter Fonda, major character. Con Air, U-Turn, and one of my favorite movies ever by David Mamet, written and directed, I believe, The Spanish Prisoner.
That's 97. You're right. Or maybe 98.
Fuck off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my honorable mentions. You mentioned The Ice Storm. I also have here Contact.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
LA Confidential, which I watched recently, and I can't believe isn't on my list anymore.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
There's some Spaceyisms there going on. Or
She's
yeah.
So Lovely. A great movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, by a late John Cassavetes script. Getting bumped off my list, Henry. Not happy about it. Richard Linklater's Suburbia.
I love that movie.
Yeah, great movie. The House of Yes.
Never saw it.
Great. Wong Kar-wai's Happy Together.
Never saw it.
Greg Araki's Nowhere.
Heard of it. Never saw
And
it.
Spike Lee's Four Little Girls.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Oh, so I'm glad you got a lot of honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, I had a tough time with
year.
this list. Well, I
was a
redid
good
this
year.
list for the first time in a long time, and it was tough. What's your
Yeah.
number 10?
Gattaca. I know.
Okay,
I love it. I mean, the other movies I mentioned I could have had another top 10,
sure.
but I love Gattaca. I got to be honest with myself.
All right, my number.
I mean,
10.
I have a movie on here that is universally acclaimed, but I've never watched in 20 years, and it's still on my top 10 because I feel it'd be wrong to take it off. We'll get there. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll get there. Go ahead. All right, my number 10 is Chasing Amy.
Ooh, low. Wow.
It's a great year.
Yeah, number 9. This is what I was talking about. Boogie Nights.
Number 9.
Well, I've not seen it since the theater.
What are you doing, number 9?
Well, I don't have any affection for it because it's been so long.
That's
but I know it's
ridiculous.
great.
Watch it today. You'll feel embarrassed by that placement.
Hey, it's not 9, man. No, I won't because I'm happy with my list. Well, when
You're not going to name 8 movies better than Boogie Nights.
I'm not.
No.
You could be right on 3 of those.
My number 9 is Steven Soderbergh's Schizopolis.
I've always wanted to see that. I never
Mhm.
saw it. All right, my number 8, making its list debut. I think it bumped the ice storm. Waiting for Guffman.
Oh, great. My number 8 is Good Will Hunting.
Low. My number 7. Higher than Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Copland.
Oh, God. Ryan Revolkin just covered it. Check it out, gang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Still on that.
He's got this cool thing going now. He runs that Rocky podcast.
Right.
So there's like 4 other podcasts or something like that about like Sylvester Stallone movies.
Mhm.
And they've like formed a little group, and once a month they do like a bonus podcast that's like a crossover. They all talk about a Sylvester Stallone movie.
Wow. Interesting.
It's interesting.
All right.
Okay, what are we up to? 7.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate me for this.
It's okay. I deserve it for some of
This
this.
film, which was I believe released in many places but not America years earlier, apparently came out in theaters in 1997 in America.
Disqualified. All right.
And it's a little film called Hard 8.
That's not fair. Because that's like number 2 on my 96 list.
I know.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, whatever, man. We have to have an off-air conversation about this release date just to get ourselves straightened out.
Yeah.
Too funny.
What's your number 6?
Chasing Amy.
Okay, my number 6 is Neil LaBute's In the Company of Men.
That's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I missed that.
Heavy hitters.
All right.
All right, good enough. What's your number 5?
Jackie Brown.
Love it. My number 5, Henry,
Mhm.
a little film called Starship Troopers.
Fucking nuts. Now I don't feel bad at all. I don't feel bad at all for Copland
masterpiece.
and Gattaca. All right. Number 4 is LA Confidential.
My number 4 is Jackie Brown.
Number 3, Good Will Hunting.
Yep. My number 3 is Deconstructing Harry.
Oh, I'm on pins and needles now. And there's an omission you made that it better fucking show up.
What?
It better show
What?
up. It's
Titanic?
not going to. I'm coming to it right now. My number 2 movie, The Game.
Not on my list.
Not even an honorable mention.
It
for you.
deserves an honorable mention. I just when I got up to it, looking through the year, I knew it wouldn't quite be in my top 10.
Right.
But
Okay,
it's
well,
great.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
My
What's your
number 2 is Waiting for Guffman.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mind blown. Hard to argue, though.
It's a
Hard to
perfect
argue.
comedy.
It
Maybe
is.
probably my second favorite comedy of all time.
I can't say that, but it's probably my second favorite Christopher Guest movie.
It's my favorite Christopher Guest movie.
I'm a Best in Show guy.
Best in Show's great. That's probably my second favorite.
Yeah. And the number 1 movie in 1997 still has not changed for me, and it's Deconstructing Harry.
Okay, and mine is Boogie Nights.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got to rewatch that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I will not be rewatching
Listen,
Starship
I got
Troopers.
that at number 1, and Mark Wahlberg's the star of it.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
That's a real good point. Look at you.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Hank. Yeah, it's a good time to rewatch Boogie Nights too, because Burt Reynolds.
True.
You can think about Burt and Philip Seymour.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mhm. And that poor Asian man who Mark Wahlberg blinded.
I don't remember that.
You don't know that in real life? Before he was famous, Mark Wahlberg assaulted a Korean man so hard that he blinded him. It was a hate
that doesn't
crime.
Surprise me.
Yeah.
Surprise me. Sounds
Back
like
in
something-
Southie.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fighter.
Henry, we got to get through this fucking movie. All right.
I know. All right.
So we're introduced to Alex Chase. Is that his name?
I don't remember.
Something like that. Alex
cares?
something. He's
Yeah.
Jason Patrick. He's on the SWAT team. And he's also, they call this, Joe Morton's running it.
Yep.
He's back.
Yep.
And they're calling the SWAT team the Suicide Squad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Superhero count.
So Suicide Squad, better movie?
So Joe Morton's been in 2 Suicide Squads. Suicide Squad better movie than Speed 2?
Yeah, I'm asking.
No.
Ooh. Yeah.
Justice
I might
League
have...
also isn't better than Speed 2.
Oh, no, wrong. You might be right on Suicide Squad. Can't go with you on Justice.
Suicide Squad's better than Justice League.
You think? Well, obviously you think that. We know how you feel about Justice League.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, so we find out Jason Patrick's been lying to Sandra Bullock
Right.
about his job for 7 months.
Apparently,
She gets
Sandra
she gets over
Bullock
it.
thinks that... Yeah, immediately. Sandra Bullock thinks that Jason Patrick's like a lifeguard?
Yeah, like a beach
A
cop. on
beach
bike.
cop, yeah. But it turns out he's a SWAT guy, and they come across each other right after a boring car chase where Jason Patrick is like running a guy down. Meanwhile, Sandra Bullock's taking
really
her driving
is
test
With Tim Conway.
with fucking Tim Conway. Yeah.
It really is a completely inconsequential and boring chase.
It is an opening chase that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It's just an action sequence, and I could not care less. I mean,
It
and
is
how
terrible.
could they have ever expected us to care less? We're going to care at all. We're going to see a Speed sequel, and they're giving us, hey, here's Jason Patrick, not Keanu Reeves, chasing some villains you've never heard of who will never be in this movie again.
Right. And then like a fucking milk truck or something. I mean, there's not even, they don't even
It's
say
an
what.
electronics truck because they start like dropping like TVs and stereos out of the back.
Wasn't paying attention. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, when that happened, when he was on the bike, I kept thinking like, are him and Tom Cruise friends? I think they are. He probably taught Jason Patrick how to ride a motorcycle. That was literally the
Possible.
thought I had.
Oh
during
my
that
god!
scene.
And Jason Patrick is riding the motorcycle super stupid, like around like steep curves, sort of like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
Oh yeah, without the elan of a John Woo slow mo.
Yeah, or a decent score.
Oh,
Boy, it's the same guy who did the score to the first one. And
Ah, he
I
gave
mean,
up.
what did Jan de Bont do? He was just like, I loved your score in the first one. I need more kettle drums.
yeah, right. He's like, keep the main theme. We'll play it once or twice.
Yeah, you hear it a couple
dun,
times.
dun, 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 dun. We'll throw it once or twice, and then I want you to come up with some Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
just...
had it in a dream.
Yeah, I dreamt about this guy playing kettle drums, and that's all I want to see. Hey, do you have any rain sticks? Let's hear those too.
It was a very haunting dream. Am I right?
Oh, is that a haunting reference?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Todd Field's in that movie as an actor. So
Sure. Eyes wide shut.
yeah, so she is mad at him. They've been together for 7 months. He has lied to her about his place of employment the whole time.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But he
I would
says,
think.
"Hey, Annie, I booked us a cruise," and she's like,
Right.
"All right."
Yeah.
Um,
So you lied about something where you were an innocuous lifeguard busting teens with beer to being in like the most dangerous job in LA.
yeah. Which
it's
is
all good.
apparently the reason she broke up with her
Exactly.
previous boyfriend.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Sandra Bullock basically playing a different character in this movie.
I don't know. I didn't think that. I mean,
she
I
has
thought
so much less agency in this. She's like doesn't.
agency?
Yeah, she doesn't make any choices of her own. She's not
Boy,
smart.
That's an interesting word to use. I've never heard that used in that way. All right.
Read more. All right.
Yeah, you're right.
right.
I am nothing if someone who I don't read a lot.
Yeah, not
I don't
very
like-
well read.
I don't like books.
Books. All right. Fucking. And she's very tan in this movie.
yeah.
And she's very wacky. She's like making a lot of jokes, and she's also like developed this thing where she's like clumsy. She's always like falling all over. So she's doing a lot of physical comedy. in
That's
this.
funny, and you're right. And I think I just attributed that to like a lot of her subsequent comedic roles.
Well,
where
that's
she
what I'm
is kind of a
saying. Is
klutz, so
I think part
it
of
didn't
it is
bother
just
me.
like in this movie they were like Sandra Bullock, do whatever the fuck you want,
right.
and Sandra Bullock not being a smart woman or an actress with good instincts made a lot of bad choices. All right.
That was right at me. That was like a that was like a reverse Cupid arrow right at my head. Yep.
Shoot that Cupid's arrow through my heart. So,
Is that UB40?
I think they covered it on the cruise.
Can you do an impression of UB40
Yeah.
singing that song underwater while they're drowning?
Sure. One second. What?
You know why UB40 was in this movie too? Besides being in DeBont's Dream,
What?
they had that big hit with Sliver.
What did they have in Sliver?
Amazing movie with another Baldwin, William Baldwin, and Tom Berenger with Sharon Stone.
The great Sharon Stone.
The great
Didn't fuck her way to the top. Go ahead.
where they had the remake of the Elvis song, "Can't Help Falling in Love with You." And
I can't help falling in love. Yeah, that song's also used very, very heavily in the Matthew Perry Salma Hayek vehicle, Fools Rush In.
oh, is it?
Yes.
It was a hit, man.
It was a
I
huge
remember
hit.
that shit when it came out.
UB40 was big, man.
Dude, I was a teenager at the time. I remember when Sliver came out and that fucking song was all over MTV.
FYI, I always thought the lead singer was black until watching this movie.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't because I remember the music video that they were all white dudes. Yeah.
So Henry, there's one black guy in the band. I saw this in theaters. You didn't?
No.
I was excited for this movie.
You were younger.
I went opening weekend. I
Dude,
loved Speed.
the same
Speed
year
2 is
this
coming
movie
out.
came
I'll
out.
check it out.
Right, I get it. I mean, sure. If I was 11, which you probably were, I would have seen it too. But I was in like 19.
How
when
dare
this-
you? I was 10.
Sorry. Oh yeah. When was this? When did this come out?
This was June 13th, 97.
Well, then I was. What was I? I was 18. Yeah, I was seeing movies like Deconstructing Harry and LA
Well, I was
Confidential and Jackie
too.
Brown. Well, you were very precocious.
Yeah. But I
Shane
also want
Black.
to see Speed
Shane
2.
Black put you in there. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, Henry, they're on the cruise. Willem Dafoe flirts with Sandra Bullock at a bar. Jason Patrick gets very jealous.
Yeah, you don't see any of it, but
No.
sure.
That scene is only there to let us know that Willem Dafoe's on this ship.
Right.
By the way, I was right. Remember last week I said
Yeah.
the only thing I remembered about this movie was that Willem Dafoe has pet leeches?
Oh, don't think I didn't think about it immediately. That's all. I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was
They
like,
showed up.
I was like, he misremembered. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. He's just walking around with leeches.
Yeah, he's got him in a bathtub at one point.
Yeah, sometimes yeah, he does. They're just swimming around in a bathtub. Usually he has them in jars, and
Right.
sometimes just on his chest,
Yeah. You
sucking
know,
toxins out of him because he's sick.
he's not the Green Goblin yet. So.
Superhero count.
Oh yeah.
So, UB40's performing, and Jason Patrick thinks this is the perfect time to ask Sandra Bullock to marry him.
Yeah. Sure. And he has a deaf girl talking to him across the aisle.
Oh my God, this deaf girl. We'll talk more about her in a second.
She's
Okay.
better than her parents.
Listen, her parents, she's got these parents that are being
They're terrible.
such fucking dicks to her, man.
They are awful.
And Jason Patrick, because he's the greatest guy in the world, speaks sign language. Sandra Bullock says, "I didn't know you you know sign language."
That was so good.
And Jason Patrick goes, "I wanted to learn another language."
It's so good. Oh my God.
So he's communicating with this girl. She's like this very young blonde girl. She's my MVP, Henry.
That's fine. I have an MVP too, but I mean, she could make it. Yep.
She the deaf girl. So she has these asshole parents, and she is like signing with Jason Patrick across the room, and she tells him through sign language, "I love you, and I'm gonna be 15 next month." Ooh, baby. Also, by the way, at one point, her parents are right about something.
What are they right about?
She takes off her jacket and she's wearing this dress, and they're like, "You're too young to wear that dress."
Right, you look like a clown.
She doesn't look like a clown,
Right.
but
she's
too young to be wearing that dress through this entire movie.
Right, Dad
it's
was
a
right.
little creepy.
Yeah, Dad was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that one. Yeah, yep.
Okay, so they're dancing to UB40. Jason Patrick is about to pop the question. They've only been dating for 7 months. She found out his occupation yesterday.
Right.
So
yeah. He's got a lot of room to make up for stuff.
yeah,
so
she starts to realize that he's about to propose, and of course she's a woman, so she's desperate for someone to propose to her.
Right.
So she gets very, very excited, and then an explosion happens, and the whole ship starts to shake. Jason Patrick is very interested in this happening, and Sandra Bullock says, "Oh no, keep dancing."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And by the way, we are well into the movie at this point. I mean, it takes a long
Nothing
time.
happens, Henry.
Holy shit.
Honestly, this movie only exists to make Jan de Bont's dream of a cruise ship crashing into land a reality.
Right. The
And
final
that
30
happens
minutes.
in the final 30 minutes. The
Yeah.
first fucking hour and a half of this movie are nothing. There's
I
bombs going off. It's one of these movies where problems keep happening and then they have to solve them.
Right.
Just over and over and over. It's repetitive and redundant and tedious. And
You're right. And you know what? I just thought of 2 movies that take place on ships that are far better than this.
Titanic, Deep Rising. What else you got?
Under Siege.
Under Siege 2, Dark Territory.
No, that's the one on the train.
Oh, right. You're right.
Eric Bogosian. No, we covered a movie that took place largely on a cruise ship. And you're going to be very surprised at what I'm going to say.
I'm very excited.
And I need your help because I don't remember which part, but there's a Friday the 13th movie. That makes
of
better
course.
usage of the locales.
Yeah, it's much better. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, that's because they're heading. Okay, yeah. The locales in that movie, remember on the ship? They got like the disco lounge. They use everything in that movie.
Great.
Yeah. Not so here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ghost Ship is better than this movie. Okay?
The first Pirates of the Caribbean.
I mean, I don't even like that movie, and it's better. I mean, I don't like Ghost Ship either. But, sure, Battleship. Why not?
Cutthroat Island.
Cutthroat, sure. Why not? Boat Show. But what's that movie? Boat Trip?
Oh,
yeah.
Cuba.
With Cuba. Very homophobic. Right. Great cruise ship movies.
Yeah. Send us your top 10.
Yeah. You know what I'm learning from this conversation? Maybe don't make cruise ship movies.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, I got another one, Henry. Out to Sea with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
Do you have a list up?
No. I just thought of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Pulling them out. Yeah. Well done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
All
Henry.
How do you think of Willem Dafoe here?
He's fine. He's doing his Willem Dafoe thing.
I agree. I was
Listen.
like, he's so hard to pan, like I was thinking at some points in the movie, I was like, he's hamming it up, but what are you supposed to do? And honestly, he improves it because if you put a beat like one of them, generic
if there was a
villains
boring guy,
we've had a lot of that in this show. We've had a lot of people. And we've always said like, oh God, if they would have stuck like a Willem Dafoe or a Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
And so we have it. Here he is in a bad movie, and
Yeah,
he's
listen,
fine.
it's Willem Dafoe. He's asked to be the villain in a shitty movie. That's what he's
He
doing.
wanted to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I read, he wanted to do it. So.
Well, at the time, I mean, maybe he didn't read the script. Maybe he just heard they were doing Speed 2. And I mean, it did a lot for Dennis Hopper's career, that first Speed. He got a lot of work after that movie.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Willem Dafoe probably didn't need to do this, but I read that he wanted to play a villain in a big movie. So, all right.
Yeah, he could have waited
might
a
have been
couple
thinking-
years, done Spider-Man.
I was just going to say, he might have waited. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. What
Yeah,
happens
So this
next?
movie is... well, you get that whole crew.
Yeah.
Django Fett.
Yeah, Django. I was going to say that. God damn it. Yeah, Django Fett's in this movie. He's sort of like
Scottish
the
guy
second
who
in
I've seen.
command.
Right. You have generic captain who gets thrown overboard right away.
There's a
Django
stand-up
Fett takes
comic and an Irish guy.
Scottish, but
Scottish,
no
right.
problem. Who I've seen, I know I've seen and
Yeah, he's
stuff.
been around.
Yeah. He's a lot of screen time, that guy.
He does. He really does. You
Yeah.
never know who's going to fucking have screen time in this movie. There were characters that I thought were being introduced as like important characters that are not in this movie at all. And then,
the opposite is true.
Yeah,
like
and the opposite.
Django Fett is all
over this movie. Django Fett, I think, has the third most screen time. I think he has more screen
agree.
time than Willem Dafoe.
He does.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he has more screen time because if you add up all the tiny moments and then add them to the end, he's in it. And by the way, Django Fett not in good shape after this movie because he broke both his arms. I don't know how he's going to fly around the galaxy.
It's true. Well, maybe his son will pick up the mantle, put his head to that helmet.
Or George Lucas will CGI fix his broken arms. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Django Fett was actually not bad in this movie. I like that guy.
He's fine. I don't mind him as Django Fett.
I don't remember him really as Django.
The performance isn't the problem.
I know. But he's like a good actor. He has some conviction.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
So it turns out Willem Dafoe was a computer security expert who, from working with computers his whole life, got copper poisoning and is dying.
Love it.
Is that scientifically accurate?
I love it. It's some of that bullshit mid-90s. Like
Terrified of computers.
Yeah, we're not sure where we are still or what computers do. We're sort of semi on the cusp of full-blown internet, but not really. So it's really funny. Copper poisoning.
Yeah.
And the doctors gave me 2 years. These leeches say 4.
Yeah. So he's trying to get this cruise ship to crash into like an oil tanker and explode.
His plan makes no sense.
No.
Because he's on there for diamonds. He's on there for revenge. He's on there to crash the boat. I mean, I don't even know.
I forgot about the diamonds.
Motivation, very unclear. Because when you see the diamonds, you're like, oh, okay, so it's just a robbery. But then he's like, not.
No, he wants
destruction for sure.
Yeah, he wants to blow up the ship. So the ship is going towards the oil tanker. They manage to turn the ship. It's very slow.
Right.
Cruise ships aren't fast, and there's no way to show them being fast.
That's right. You're right. They keep, which is repeatedly done over and over again. Like, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Did you like that one where it's like 4 different people? Oh, shit.
Oh, I
Oh,
want
shit.
to talk about that right now.
Okay.
So when they turn the boat away from the oil tanker, it is going directly for land, like this resort town, and they have no brakes. So they're looking for the horn. They're frantically looking for the horn on this cruise ship.
Yeah.
No one knows where it is. And
No.
the reason they're looking for the horn is because nobody notices this
Nobody.
giant cruise ship approaching land. There's literally a scene, like
Oh, I can't
shots
wait.
of
I
like
can't wait.
people hanging out in the ocean and like turning around,
10
and the
feet.
cruise ship is right there.
10 feet away, a foot
Yeah.
away. There's more carnage and destruction in this sequence. I mean, the innocent lives. I mean, before you even get, and you're right about it, you can't make it go fast. So this scene takes forever. And so they kill more people in these tiny boats than Jaws does in all 4 movies combined.
Yeah.
The death toll before it even hits the dock.
Mm-hmm. Well, it
Huge.
doesn't seem to kill anybody once it hits land, weirdly.
Yeah, it's all
Everybody dies in the ocean.
all the people who could have gotten out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's brutal.
Oh!
Oh,
So it finally
Lord.
crashes into land. There's a little boy looking out of a window while his parents are looking at a house. He says, "Mommy, it's a big boat."
Right.
And the mom's like, "Yeah, lots of big boats around here."
Right. Sure.
It crashes into the building, but they survive. Then
They're fine.
there's a guy who's worried about his car, but he survives.
Oh, and that. Oh, yep. Okay, we're getting there. You're
Yeah.
right. So we're not done though, because then he has to
Yeah,
find.
so far the only
Yeah.
returning characters in this movie, we saw Sandy B, Joe Morton, who went uncredited, good for him, and did you catch the scared elevator woman?
No,
She's in this.
really.
Yeah,
Didn't. God.
yeah, she's on the cruise ship. So, but here he is. He now has a name, Maurice, the Toon Man,
He's my MVP.
and he has a boat called Toon Man.
Yep.
And he says that he just bought a condo in this resort community. Where is this? I was thinking this could be
idea.
anywhere from Hawaii to Italy to Greece.
I had no idea.
I like
because
to think that it's the island from Mamma Mia.
it's the what?
It's the island from Mamma Mia.
There you go. Because
I think this is how.
took off from L.A., so it can't be in the. I mean, I don't know where it is. I have no idea.
Henry,
No.
this is how Meryl Streep died.
That would make a lot of sense.
She was out in the ocean.
It looked a lot like that, man. You know?
Yeah.
Explanation granted.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Toon Man shows up and gets his boat commandeered. by
Henry,
the
he's your
LAPD.
MVP?
Toon Man.
Pretty good. Okay. I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Toon Man,
Yeah. I mean, sure.
why
Look,
is he in this?
I don't know, man.
I think he
I
sucks.
got no MVP, so I was just like, okay, Toon Man.
He has like a couple little quips in the first movie, and in this movie, they're like, he was funny in the first one. Let's just have him joking around, joshing
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
time.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Willem Dafoe dies. Stupid death.
terrible death in a helicopter.
Laughing
yeah.
like the Joker all the way out.
laughing like the Green Goblin on his glider.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to give Willem Dafoe the MVP, but like he doesn't improve the movie.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gave it to Deaf Girl. I'm giving it to Toon
I'm
Man.
giving it to Deaf Girl for sure.
LVP was hard.
By the way, the parents of Deaf Girl do worry about her, like when they're trying to evacuate the ship. So
That's
don't be
true.
too mad. Listen, it's hard having a deaf child.
I'm not going into that.
All right.
Yeah. That it?
I mean, what happens at the end? They get
Nothing.
engaged.
They get engaged. She takes her driver test again.
Yeah, there's a comedy outro at the DMV where Tim Conway takes her out on the road again. Oh, it's one of those moments like, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dorf is teaching her again, and
Mhm.
she's not going to pass.
No.
But will pass.
And also,
on
by
this
the way,
movie.
she's a great driver in the first one. Her
Very
problem was that
true.
she sped, not that she was
Right.
a horrible driver.
I mean, her performance as a driver of a bus in the most stressful situation one could ever be in.
She
is
commandeers that bus
magnificent.
like a champ.
It's magnificent.
Yeah.
I mean, she should really just be a race car driver.
By the way, the exact bus from Speed drives past them speeding during that road test at the end.
I remember it. But I
What
didn't
is
know that.
this?
That's the
did
exact
we cross
bus?
realities?
I think. I could have sworn when they did that she was going to say something about the bus, but
I thought she was gonna rip off her face. The Annie of Speed 2 was Tom Cruise this whole time.
oh Lord.
All right,
Yeah.
this is a fucking garbage pile of a movie. It's a 1 MVP Deaf Girl,
Agreed.
LVP Sandra Bullock.
No. Can't do that.
I mean, look, it's Jan de Bont probably, but
Yes, yes,
yeah.
because that is a falling star if I ever saw one. I mean, he makes this awesome, iconic movie, and then he follows it with his shit.
I rewatched Twister recently, which he actually followed Speed with.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? It's worth
All the way
watching
through.
once. Bill Paxton's good in it,
Right.
but it's a pretty bad movie. And,
Twister is?
Yeah, and I just think like he only had speed in him. This guy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So who's your your LVP is de Bont? Fine. Okay, so that's fucking Speed 2 Cruise Control. Fuck
We did
this
it.
movie. There should never have been a sequel. I hope they never make another one.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
What? You could see them rebooting this fucking piece of shit.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is one of those cases that watching Speed is a little bit of a bummer now.
Yeah.
Because like if we are like you'll always have it in the back of your head like when she and Jack like kiss at the end of the movie, like yeah, but in a few months she's gonna like dump him for
Yeah,
Jason
they
Patrick.
don't end up together.
Yeah.
I know. It's fucking it's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a 5 on the superhero count.
Let's hear it. Red wine. All right, go ahead.
Willem Dafoe,
Yeah,
Green
Spider-Man.
Goblin and Spider-Man, and
Spider-Man 3.
well, yeah, I was just lumping them all in, right?
Okay.
He makes little cameos. In the upcoming
Oh,
Aquaman.
whose dad is he?
He he is Nuidus Volko.
I have no idea who that is.
No, I don't think
I guess
anyone
we'll
does.
find out.
We are going to get somebody's dad though in this count. So Django Fett, played by the actor Tamara Morrison,
Yeah.
was in Green Lantern as Abin Sur.
By the way, a New Zealand actor, I believe, doing a
Yeah.
credible American accent in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I agree. Yeah. He was
Yeah.
in Once Were Warriors. I think I
Yeah,
saw that
yep,
like,
that's
a long,
right.
long time ago.
So what was he in?
was in Green
Yeah,
Lantern.
yeah. He's the alien that crash lands to Earth and gives Hal the.
Oh, so he's just a voice.
No. It's like him in makeup or whatever.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
All right. And he is also in the upcoming Aquaman.
Oh.
Thomas Curry.
You know, this is DC's MO. They were like, we're making an Aquaman movie. What do you think of when you think of great sea movies? Let's get the whole cast of Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And Green
Who's
Lantern.
He? So who is he in Aquaman?
I believe he's his dad, Thomas
What's his
Curry.
name? Thomas Curry. Yeah, sounds like it. Okay.
Has to be.
Yeah, I can see him playing Momoa's dad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Kimmy Robertson.
I was very excited to see her.
Yeah.
She was one of the shining lights of this movie. Of course, the police receptionist in Twin Peaks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. She has 2 roles in 2 Batman cartoons. One in Batman the Animated Series playing Alice in a Mad Hatter episode. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And a character in Batman Beyond named Margot. Don't know.
Probably she was good. She's got a great voice.
Yeah. Number 4, Francis Guineau, who played a character in this movie called Rupert. No, I don't know who that is. It might be the Scottish guy. I think it might be.
Maybe.
He was also in Constantine, playing
Oh.
Father Garrett.
Okay, probably a priest or a dad. One of the
Right.
two.
And this one blew my mind. I almost didn't click on this actor because I didn't think there was any chance. But yes, folks, Tim Conway was in an episode of Batman, the Brave and the Bold, playing a character named the Weeper.
The Weeper.
Yeah, related to the Joker in some way, I saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, let's wrap up.
Wrap it up.
Hey, how do you rank these?